All right, everybody. Welcome to our very first episode of our league. I talked to Colin and Brad, seeing if they wanted to do this with me to talk about everything that's happening within the league and the potential changes, and just kind of make something fun out of it, especially since we're going to be doing this for such a long time. So, just to kind of go over today, what we're going to talk about. To start off, we want to say thank you to Colin for setting everything up with the recording and everything like that. Collins. And and so as we go through this, whatever input y'all can to make this whole thing better, that'd be great.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, so to start off with, we're going to start off with the year in review, go over like the highest scores, lowest scores, biggest blowouts, stuff like that. And then we're going to move forward, take a look into the playoffs, and then I'm going to announce whoever has the first four picks of the draft. And then we'll go over like some new things that we might try to do later on. All right, so start it off. Let's go with the East, Brad. The highest scores.
All right, so the top scores, I kind of did it week by week. Sorry to say, actually not sorry, fuck you guys. In week 3, the Stan Crabtree 69ers decided to bend Javi over, fuck him in his ass, and score 168 points. And Javi only scored, it was a good game for Javi, but not good enough, and he only scored 105. Also, just a little shout out to second place, also me. Fuck you guys. Actually, fuck you, Balzac. I kind of took your position in playoffs. So you're still in it, but I jumped ahead 2 spots. I went from being not a contender for playoffs to beating you, Balzac. I had to beat you by 40 points, and my team decided to beat you 156.2 to 97.9. So, fuck you, Balzac. Let's see. We'll move on. The next, we're going to go with lowest scores. So there's a tie for lowest score. Let's see. In week 7, let's go. Week 7, Travis. Dude, I don't know what happened to your team, but you definitely, you got blown out, dude. It was 50. You scored 51.2 points. Let's see. Let's see what your team did that week. You had 2 positions put up 0. You had your Robert Woods, your flex put up 0. Let's look at your bench, though, because
they probably all went off.
There's a couple people who would have done no, your whole team literally sucked dick that week. On your bench, the highest score besides quarterbacks, it looks like, was Anquan Bolden with 10.3. That's okay, but still, you had 2 positions score 0 points. You had LaShawn McCoy score 1 point. And nobody scored double digits but your quarterback. That was pretty bad. Let's see. And also, Wes, you scored 51.2 points as well.
That was this week, right?
Yeah, that was
this week.
Week 3, he did that, actually.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
I think, if I did it right, hold on, let's look.
Let's see.
Yeah, week 3, Wes, you played Matt. You scored 51.2 points.
Easy win.
Let's see. You had 1 player score 0 points, which was Willie Snead, and then you actually had a player score negative points. I don't
Ryan
know
Matthews,
if that's possible.
our brother.
Ryan Matthews decided to score negative 0.5 points. I don't understand how with Ezekiel Elliott you can score less than fucking 60 points, dude.
He had almost half of his points.
You're fuck. I don't know, man. You pick it up, dude. All right, so let's go to the biggest blowout. It kind of ties into the lowest score. It was in week 7 whenever Javi played Travis. He beat him 167.8 to Travis's 1.2. So, actually, Javi, I spoke wrong before with top scores. You got second place by 0.0 or by 0.2. But I don't like you, so fuck you.
By the way, that's a
Big
difference
fuck.
of 116.6 points.
That's pretty bad. Travis, dude, I love that you're in our league because you fucking suck.
Oh man, shots fired.
I'm just kidding, but let's go to that week. That was week 7, I believe.
Yep.
Let's see, who did Javi have that did so well? A good pickup by Javi this year, I think, was DeMarco Murray. I think he kind of came out of nowhere, blew it up. Melvin Gordon, he fucking killed it that week. AJ Green did well. Surprisingly, you scored 167 points, Javi, and you still had one person score 2 points and one person score 4. So, good on you, dude. All right, let's move on to the closest game, or actually, pillow fight of the year. All right, so I want you guys to go to week 13 with me.
Yep.
And just for clarification, the pillow fight of the year is where both teams score horribly, but it just ends up being relatively a close match.
So this, all I did was add up the points of the two scores and just to see who had the lowest. Week 13, Wes, dude, we suck in the East, I guess.
We really do.
Wes, you
We
scored
really
7.4 points, and Travis, you did okay. You scored 88 points. Somehow your quarterback scored 7 points. I don't get that. Defense scored 0. Wes, you had your defense score -4 points. Why would you start Bill's defense versus Oakland? Oakland's like super hot this year, dude.
Super.
They've been winning in the fourth quarter, and they put up fucking points. That was stupid on your part. You had your kicker score you 1 point, and you had Marquise Wilson. I'm pretty sure before the game they said he wasn't playing.
A groin injury.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever, dude. You do you. You didn't really have anybody else who you could have started that would have put up any points. So.
Again, Zeke scored almost half of his points.
Yep. That was a good pickup on your part, but you need to get some help, dude. All right, and then in week 2, it was actually me and Travis. It was a pretty bad week. In week 2, I think it was like 77. Oh, hold on. 77.7 to 74.8. That was pretty bad.
That is definitely a pillow fight.
Yeah. The only good thing I can say about that week is that I had a player score 6.9 points. So that's a win in my category. All right. Moving on, the closest game, and I think, Colin, you'll probably pick the same thing.
Yep.
It's pretty crazy. If we go to week 8, it's pretty crazy whenever you look and you see this douchebag right here win against, it was Clash of the Titans, dude. 91.6 to 91.3. That's a nail biter. I don't know. I don't know about y'all. I would be shitting bricks that whole time.
It was crazy.
That was week 8. Matt, I'm not asking for commentary. Shut up. Let's see. So that week, it was pretty even. You guys both had players score 2 points, 1 point. I don't know what time those games were, but did it go into the second day or in the Monday, or how'd that work?
It did. I don't remember who was playing that Monday night game, though. Let me look it up real quick.
Shut up, dog. All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so that's pretty much. Next, I'm going to go into fantasy MVPs. Matt asked us to ask people for their opinions, but I don't give a fuck what you guys have to say. Your opinion was probably wrong anyways because you're stupid. So Matt, I said your MVP this year is definitely Mike Evans. As a receiver, that dude fucking puts up points. He's an animal. He's like 6'5" or 6'4". It's really hard for safeties to cover him. He just fucking does work. He did Richard Sherman in the ass whenever they were playing the Seahawks twice. So definitely a good pickup on you, and he's young too. Coming out of A&M, he's good. He'll last a while.
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't end up like every other person from A&M and fucking into drugs and shit. Next, we'll move on to Ty. So Ty, your team sucked this year, man. It was really hard to pick an MVP. I'm gonna have to go with your kicker, dude, Adam Vinatieri. That guy, probably the best person on your team. I mean, he's what? I think he's like 43 years old.
He's the oldest, I think, in the league.
Yep, 43 years old,
So
still kicking field goals. But he did. I remember one week he did put up a shit ton of points. So, no, I'm just kidding, man. I put your MVP as Matt Forte. He moving from the Bears to the Jets. I mean, the Jets suck just as much as the Bears, but I think they're a little bit better in the run game. Plus, they don't have a fucking quarterback at all. So Matt Forte's been putting up decent points. Wes, your MVP is a gimme. It's got to be Zeke Elliott, man. He's a rookie. He's got a great offensive line. In a dynasty league, I think he's going to do well for you. Travis, yours was pretty hard too because your team sucked. But Drew Brees, he's an excellent fantasy quarterback. The only thing I have to say about him is I don't know how much longer he has in the league. So, yeah, he was good for you this year. I think Shady McCoy, LaShawn McCoy might be another MVP for you. He did pretty well this year.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, he looked like he did the first couple of years that he was doing well in Philadelphia. So, for me, I would say my MVPs, this one was kind of hard. Because I've had players score really well each week, but I'm going to go with Jordy Nelson. He's got one of the highest amounts of touchdowns for a receiver. It's a PPR league. He's Aaron Rodgers' favorite target. I also put Devonta Freeman as another one. I mean, that dude's an animal, man. For a little bit there in Atlanta, they were talking about how they're going to do a running back by committee, but he definitely shot that shit down and said, "Give me the fucking ball." And he scores both in the passing game and in the rushing game. So, I think over this year, just overall in the East, we fucking suck, guys. We just suck. But if you look at it, though,
I was the best one in the division.
Yeah, that just means we blow. I mean, we did just as well as their third and fourth place teams. Well, sorry, I did just as well as their third and fourth place teams. You guys just suck. I mean, I scored the most points at 1432. And God,
obviously
guys,
that doesn't mean anything because Javi scored the most.
Shit.
Scored the most, and
single
he's
person,
not in the playoffs.
Every single person in their league outscored us, but Rishi.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, outscored you fuckers, not me, but outscored y'all besides Rishi.
Yep.
You guys fucking suck. Y'all need to pick it up, dude. Or I say we just fucking get rid of divisions so I'm not stuck in the same category as you fuckheads in the East.
Well, that's your only way to get in the playoffs.
That's true. Whatever. So,
and just to vet that closest game, I'm looking at the schedule, and it looks like all of the games ended at that 3:00 time on Sunday.
Okay.
We both had multiple players playing at the same time, so it was a nail biter down to the finish.
An entertaining Sunday.
It was.
All right.
Besides that, guys, I mean, that's all I have for now in the East. We have some pretty good matchups coming up in playoffs for those of us who made. Oh wait, just me and Matt. So we'll try to represent the East. I think we have a legitimate shot. Let's see, Matt, who are you playing this week?
We'll get more into that a little bit later.
Oh.
We'll go over the playoff matchups.
All right, whatever. Okay, well, that's all I got for now. That's it. I'll pop in and say shit as Colin's talking. So.
Well, thank you, Brad. And what about you, Colin?
I mainly went over each of the members of the conference, looked at their highest and lowest scores, and what caused them to happen that way. For Team Weichel, his highest scores was 138.8 against Javi this week. And so
Oh wait,
That was the most he scored all
playoffs,
season.
right?
that was the most he scored this whole season. 138.8 was against Javi this week. And his lowest score, which is also the lowest score out of any of the players this conference, was 67.8 against Travis.
Nice.
And the reason he scored the lowest is because it was Arizona's bye week, so David Johnson wasn't playing, which is and
Hint, hint.
yeah, and his MVP is David Johnson, of course, who has the most points out of any player in the whole NFL for fantasy, with
Dude, that guy's-
290.9 points this season.
That guy's a fucking ant, dude. He scores more than quarterbacks. Like that blows my
Yeah.
mind.
And then we'll go to God Hates Jags, which is my team.
Yeah, fuck him.
The highest score week was
God
only
hates you, clown.
129.9, which was week 1 against San Crabtree's 69ers, who scored
Yeah.
108.5 points. And
Whatever,
then
dude.
my lowest score was 77.2 against Ty's team, the Deflatriots, and he only scored 85.6. So
Wow, I'm surprised he won.
it's a close pillow fight, but not the worst. And my MVP is Antonio Brown for 216 points.
For all of his
season.
touchdown celebrations.
Yep. God.
Dude, twerk of the year.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Then Kibbles and Vicks, Zach Yoakum's team, highest
fuck that
score is 131.3 against Javi again for 119.7. So
Javi
Javi's
just
probably
has
the
horrible luck,
unluckiest
man.
member of our league. He has a great team, but he just keeps losing the weeks. And then his Zach's low score was 89.5, which is pretty good. It was against Weichel for 127.3. And I chose his MVP to be Aaron Rodgers. He's been really great this season. Quarterback, 1 pick for
Fantasy-wise, anyway.
fantasy-wise right now.
Yeah.
Like, he loses games, but he gets points up. And he scored 275.4 points this season.
Damn. All right. He's like number 3 overall, right? Number 2 or 3? Because David Johnson's number 1, and I think Drew Brees is right behind him, right?
I think Aaron Rodgers is beating Drew Brees.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I think Drew Brees had a really bad week this past week.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did do pretty bad.
He was even at home.
hmm
That's when he plays better.
Yeah, but dude, that was a crazy game, man. Those conditions of that game, that field looked fucking shitty. I would hate to play in the snow like that.
Then moving on to...
Oh wait, no.
Oh, you're
What?
yeah,
Talking
you're
about
talking
Aaron
about
Rodgers.
Aaron
Rodgers.
My
Rodgers.
bad, not
No,
Drew
no.
Brees.
No, we're talking about Drew Brees. Yeah, I was about to say,
Yeah,
does
I
it
think-
snow in New Orleans?
I was like, what?
Yeah, dude, in the
No,
dome.
but I think that really speaks more about the Lions team really progressing as much as they have to really shut down Drew Brees in New Orleans.
Well,
more
what's
than
crazy
anything
too is the Lions. They have the most fourth quarter comebacks, right? Or every single
Yeah.
game they've had has been decided in the fourth quarter. So
Except for that game. That was the only
Yeah.
game they didn't win by a fourth quarter comeback.
they did well. All right,
Matt
sorry.
Stafford should be Matty Ice.
And then we're going on to Team Ahuja Daddy, which is Rishi's team. His highest score was 131.9 in Week 2
Yes.
against Wesley, Gronky Punch, by 87.1. His lowest score was 72 points in Week 7 against Fighting Jim Bob Cooters, who scored 107.4 points.
Mm.
And his MVP is Odell Beckham Jr., scoring 185 points. Was his
First
Did y'all-
overall pick.
his first
Did
overall
y'all
pick.
see? Did y'all see what he said about the officials and their calls?
No, what did he say?
He said. He said even Stevie Wonder sees.
Oh, man.
It was funny, man.
That's good.
I think he just said that today too.
Okay, then the final team, final member of the West Division, Whedon Boys, Javier's team. His highest
Dude.
score, of course, is the 167.8 points against in Week 7 to Travis's 51.2, which is also the biggest blowout of the season
Yeah.
by 116 points.
And Javi, my heart goes out to you, man. That's a tough year.
You know, that I was about to say the same thing, man. Like, it sucks. In one of my other leagues, and I don't want to harp on that too much, but I had the fourth most points for, but the most points against, and that fucking sucks, man. That's just bad luck. People just played well against you, and what sucks too is, I mean, you scored more than you got scored against, but your team didn't come through in the clutch, man.
Only 4 times did somebody score less than 100 points against him, and even then, he already scored way more points than that, so it wasn't even close every time that he lost.
Yep. Dude, that sucks, but
I
mean, that's fantasy football. It happens. I don't think that you should be a bitch and try to come up with new ways to win each week. That's fucking. We'll get into that later. That's fucking stupid.
All right, his lowest score was also just only 91.3. Like that's his lowest
crazy.
score.
That's crazy
for the whole season.
Blows my mind.
And that was against Week 8 against Rishi, he scored 125 points.
Pretty sure that was the most points Rishi scored all season.
What I think is fun. Oh, sorry, Colin.
Oh, his MVP. It was hard to decide because all of his players were just really good, really close to each other. But I chose Melvin Gordon to be his MVP, who scored
He really came out this year.
229.6 points.
But what helped Melvin Gordon, I think, is the fact that Danny Woodhead got hurt. Because if Danny Woodhead was still there, Melvin Gordon wouldn't be getting near as many touches as he is. He would still be the number one back, but you have Danny Woodhead who's going to go in and be your third down back and your passing back, and it's just I don't think
Danny Woodhead was there last year though. I think Melvin Gordon just took a huge step forward this year. He really started to see the game a little bit slower, and he was saying that during the preseason too.
Yeah, again, if Danny Woodhead was healthy, he wouldn't have.
Yeah, he wouldn't be earning
nearly
as
much
much.
those points.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Then
That's
otherwise, his MVP would be DeMarco Murray.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
Dude, one thing I'm going to say about the West is fucking Weichel. Like, how nobody can put up points against him, or you, Colin. Like, you guys are just fucking lucky. That's all I have to say. Because if you're looking at the points against, everybody in the East, our points against were at least 1,300. The lowest was, was
Ty
at 1,320.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking Weichel 1,280. Like, that's ridiculous, man.
He just got lucky. That's right.
And then you look at his points against, and fuck it. Dude, Javi had more points against him than what Weichel scored in the whole season, and Weichel scored the most. Like, that's crazy, man. That just sucks to suck.
And what's funny, I'm just now noticing, is that Weichel swept his division. He's undefeated in his division, 5-0.
He is.
Yep.
Yeah. Dude, he had a good year.
But
I think go ahead.
Other than
I
that,
was going to
that's
say
all
you don't really you really don't win your league in the draft. A lot of it is you got to pick the right players, and a lot of it is luck.
And I think one thing that we're going to see later on in later seasons is since this is a dynasty league, our first draft is going to be where your team goes or does well or doesn't do well. Mm-hmm. Because I tried to draft any person on my team. I tried to make sure they were younger than 26 years old because I want them to be. Because I plan on fucking winning this thing, and I'm gonna get last pick every year. So, I mean,
that's the goal.
Yep.
It's not about the picks; it's about the championships.
That's true.
It's about this baby right here.
That's the only time it's ever gonna be there.
We'll see about that, buddy.
Okay. All right, Matt. Say what you have to say. So
Did you? All right, yeah. So you already went over. Did you go over the closest game, Colin?
It was the same thing what Brad was saying earlier.
Okay.
Team Weichel and Jim Upgooders, a difference of 0.3 points.
I can't go any other way.
And also the biggest brawl, most points scored for both players happened this week with Weichel and Javi's team with a total of 275.3 points.
I feel like every time we bring it up, it's just like a knife just going deeper and deeper into Javi's heart.
Yep.
Like, oh man.
If who was it?
Have fun not being in playoffs, bitch.
If T.Y. Hilton got one more pass for like 20 yards, I would be number 1 seed in our division.
He had a drop.
Yeah.
Ah, man. Oh, well. All right, so moving forward, we are going to go over the different playoff matchups, and I'm going to go over who has the first 4 picks. But I'm going to make y'all wait on that a little bit longer, and we're just going to go over the current playoff bracket. So since Weichel won the West Division and he had the best record in the league, he is the first overall seed, gets a bye week. Since I won my division, and even if Colin beat me this week, it didn't matter. I was still going to lock. I basically
started
had
Brock
second.
Osweiler this week. That's all how much I cared.
Why is
But you ripped the hell off. It doesn't matter. Anyways, so I have bye week this week as well. Then we have Zach playing Brad. The 5th and 4th seed, and then we have Colin playing Rishi in the 3rd and 6th seed. So with that being said, I just want to kind of get y'all's opinion on how y'all think this playoffs is going to play out. Obviously, it's going to be kind of a bias because we're all in the playoffs and we're all probably going to say that we're going to win it. But how do y'all think that it's going to play out?
I'm going to be honest. I like the fact that I got the 4th overall seed because now I have to play against you, Matt, once I beat Zach this week. And I'd much rather play against you than play against Weichel.
Oh, no, you're playing Weichel if you win.
Yeah,
Really?
That's how it should work. Yeah.
Oh, well, never mind. You know what? I still like the fact that I got 4th because either way I'm going to win. No, I think looking at it, I think it's going to be a close – it's just looking at the projections and looking at how each team has done each week. Colin, I think you're going to fucking blow Rishi out of the water.
Yeah, sorry to say, Rishi. Yeah, that's going to be a blowout.
Nothing against you, Rishi. Actually, everything against you. It's going to be a blowout like how your family blows things up all the time.
Oh, man.
So Rishi, Ben Roethlisberger, that's a good pick. Theo Reddick, yeah, okay.
Why you gotta give him tips?
Gets a lot of targets.
Latavius Murray, he's hit or miss. Odell Beckham, you have to start him. Kelvin Benjamin, yeah. He's hit or miss again too, man. Martellus Bennett, that's a good pick with Gronk going out. Martellus has had weeks where he scored 3 touchdowns in 1 week. With Tom Brady as your quarterback, the sky's the limit. Terrell Pryor, again,
that's
hit or miss. He's got RG3 thrown to him this week.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Potentially RG3. I don't know. 49ers, they fucking suck, dude. I don't know if I would start them.
Though, against your high school buddy, Bryce Petty.
Yeah, dude, fuck that guy. Colin, let's look at your team. Derek Carr, he's doing really well. Frank Gore, he just went. He's like 7th overall now in rushing. He's probably
100 years old.
He is 100 years old.
4, I believe he is. But yeah,
Colin,
he's the oldest running back.
I want to say great pickup or great draft with Jay Ajayi.
J-E.
Whatever. He
it's a fun name. Fun name to say.
It was a good pickup because Arian Foster's going to get hurt. He gets hurt every year.
And it was a roll ice though.
Good for him. Coming from Boise State, that's just good for him. Antonio Brown, of course, you have to start him. Amari Cooper, yep. But what's crazy to me is in Oakland, I feel like Michael Crabtree is doing better than Amari Cooper because
he gets way more targets because I feel like the defense is covering Amari Cooper more. So.
Well, even then, if you look at I don't want to really go too much into that, but if you look at it, Michael Crabtree gets more red zone targets than Amari Cooper, so that plays a big part of it. So it's almost as if Derek Carr trusts Michael Crabtree in the red zone than Amari Cooper.
I feel like Amari Cooper though has more of a chance to get that long play. So
oh yeah, definitely.
Travis Kelce, maybe he'll get points because of his fucking reality show. That guy's a fucking tool bag. I do think that it's funny that he threw a flag at the refs.
That's hilarious.
That was awesome. That
was awesome.
I'm still deciding between Kelsey and Ladarius Green this week.
See, dude, Ladarius Green, that's one big motherfucker. That guy's fucking huge. He, had to look down at Ben Roethlisberger. Like, that, holy shit, he's big. He did really well last week,
yeah,
so.
He did.
I mean, that. Tyler Boyd, all right. Cleveland against Cleveland, you kind of have to start him.
Yeah.
Cardinals defense against Miami. I don't know how smart that is, starting your running back versus your defense, but I mean, to each their own. And Steven Gostkowski is just a fucking kicker. Kickers don't mean anything unless you have Adam Vinatieri. So, let's.
So yeah, just overall, how do you think the playoff is going to go? Like as far as the games go.
Let me see.
So, I think, dude, I think Colin probably has the most luck out of anybody right now.
Yeah.
As long as he can keep that luck going, I think he can win it all. I don't know, man. I think what's crazy about what I've noticed about this league is that it just depends on how. I mean, like every other fantasy game, it depends on how well your team does, and we've all had hit or miss weeks besides Javi. Javi consistently had his players score pretty high, but just other people scored higher against him. I don't know. I really don't know. I guess we'll see what happens this week. We also, there's only one team that's clinched playoffs so far. So all the other teams are still going to be starting all their starters, and I'm sure the Cowboys are still going to keep starting their starters because they want to clinch home field too.
I think if they win this week, they'll be able to clinch home field.
Yeah, I do too. So if I don't know, I think it kind of sucks that there's only 2 people out of the East in the playoffs, and there's 4 in the West.
Yeah, pick it up, guys. Come on.
Yeah, come on, fuckheads. But no, I don't know. I would love for me to win, obviously, but I don't know. I think Colin has a good shot. We'll see.
What about you, Colin? What do you think?
I agree with Brad. I have an amazing shot. I feel like I have like what Brad said about me having luck. I have crazy luck when it comes to matchups. Like when I played against Javi, AJ Green got injured on the very first play.
Oh.
So that's what happened. I'm trying to remember what happened with something happened with Zach. Brandon Cook didn't get targeted once.
I had him. I have him in another league, and that killed me.
That's one of the main reasons why I'm so high up in my league, just because of luck that happens to me, week by week.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I feel like I'm gonna beat Rishi. Brad's gonna beat Zach, and my bold prediction is Brad is gonna beat Weichel. So it's gonna be me and Brad in the finals.
Hell yeah!
Oh really, Colin?
Oh really?
I agree with that. I can see that happening.
Let me lay down some stuff for you, Colin.
Right.
So, going into this playoffs, I agree. I think that Brad is going to beat Zach. And then I think, again, Colin, I agree with you that Brad is going to upset John. His luck is finally going to run out.
I think the only reason why, though, is because he's been hanging out with Davis, dude.
Oh, Davis Bowl in that other league. Anyways, yeah, Colin, I think he'll beat Rishi. It would be a pretty big upset if Rishi ended up winning. And then I'm going to beat you because I'm looking at my schedule here, and I lost to you in week 4, and I lost to you this past week. 3rd time's a charm. I'm going to get it done in the playoffs, baby.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Nah.
And then I'll be facing Brad in the finals, and I think I'm gonna. So we'll see we'll see if it plays out any of the ways that we laid it out.
Stinks me.
And yeah, please feel free to put your picks in the Facebook chat as well. Who you think is going to end up winning? What you think? Especially the guys who aren't in the playoffs. That would be really
I
cool to get
honestly
there.
don't think anybody is going to watch this video this far.
See. If you do, put what should they put in the chat if they get to this point?
Put like fuck Javi or something.
Put Brad's sister.
Yeah.
If you get to this point.
If you get this far, ask for a picture of my sister, and you shall receive it.
There you go. All right, so to kind of wrap things up, draft order is as follows. Number 4 overall pick goes to Javi. Obvious, because your team scored way more than everybody else, and you didn't make playoffs. So, sorry about you, buddy. But that's just how everything played out. And so it's funny, though, because the way that I did this was I went through everybody's schedules, put up their best possible lineup, and then I used that score for each week for all the different players and added up. I didn't even put Javi's last week, and he still scored more than everybody else.
Jesus.
Oh, and I was telling Brad this the other day. I looked at for Javi's potential points scored. His average was 145 points.
That's fucking ridiculous, man. That's Javi, that's saying that you pick the best people to play each week. You could have easily beat everybody, but I think me twice. And Colin.
Oh, man,
right?
It was rough.
I don't know if I scored more than 145. But yeah.
So, yeah, I think it was just me.
All right, so next pick. This one was actually pretty close. It came down to that Monday night game. So Wesley has the 3rd overall pick, and Travis has a 2nd overall pick.
Wow,
so then,
this fucking sucks.
Well, yeah, I'll get into that. So Wesley was about 50 points away from Travis going into Monday night, and Travis had Dante Moncrief and Brandon Marshall. So if both of those guys would have scored 25, that would have pushed Wesley into 2nd overall pick, but that didn't end up happening. So now it's Travis and for 2nd, and then Wesley. And so everybody thought Travis was going to get the 1st overall pick, but it's actually Ty. And the reason why is because Travis
team sucks.
Well, I mean, both of their teams sucked, honestly.
Yeah.
But Travis had these players on his bench, like Mike Wallace and some other like players that just went big.
People that you would never think you would never think to play well. So I mean, it's not really your fault, Travis, but it sucks to suck, man.
He had two weeks, or in week 3 he would have scored 171 points, and then in week 6 he would have scored 181 points. And because of those 2 weeks, it pushed him over the edge. He scored about 100 points more than what Ty's best overall was. So there you have it. Ty has 1st overall pick in this 2017 draft, and Travis, Wesley, then Javi. And because I have Travis's 1st overall pick, I got the 2nd overall pick. Yeah. But he has 2 first overalls in the draft. All right. And so that's the draft order. Everything else is just kind of like getting an idea of what y'all think about this video and potential things that y'all want to hear from us moving forward. Obviously, this one's pretty long, mainly because it's the first one that we've done to kind of cover the whole entire season. If we're going to keep doing this consistently, we would just be going over like the weeks and trying to add
the highlights.
Yeah,
highlights. So it's more like a quick little 2-minute video. But I think this is a good idea, especially since we're doing a Dynasty League. We're going to be doing this for hopefully the rest of our lives. I think that I think we need to start planning our draft for next year. I think we need to go somewhere. I think that'd be cool. I'll be done with school. I'll be able to kind of travel and go wherever. So even if we just meet up down in Corpus, or even if we go someplace like Lake Charles or something, as long as Adam doesn't go with us, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, so just a shout out to everybody. Just try and put three things that we could improve and three things that you liked about this video, and then we're going to continue to improve on it. That way, it's a better experience for everybody involved.
We'll have one next week too. That'll just go over all the playoffs, all the stuff that happened in playoffs, and it'll be a little bit faster or a little bit shorter, I guess.
Yeah. And one last thing before I let everybody go, I'm just going to call out some highlights as far as guys that are entering the draft, as far as like the big name guys for the underclassmen. So pretty much anybody that I'm only going to talk about offense because defense doesn't necessarily have a really big impact on us. Pretty much anybody on Clemson is intending to go into the draft. Deshaun Watson, their running back, Wayne Gallman, both of their receivers actually, Artavis Scott and Mike Williams. They're both their coach said that they intend to go into the draft, but we haven't heard from them yet. More than likely, we won't hear from them until after the playoff is over. And then we have Patrick Mahomes from Texas Tech, Deshaun Kaiser from Notre Dame, and Mitch Trubisky from North Carolina. All of those guys are
Christian. What's his nuts from Stanford is entering the draft as well. The running back. He announced today that he's entering the draft.
Christian McCaffrey. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then speaking of running backs, Leonard Fournette announced, I think yesterday, that he's going in. Dalvin Cook is supposed to go into the draft, but he hasn't made it official just yet. Same thing with Royce Freeman from Oregon and Nick Chubb from Georgia. More than likely, they're going to go in for sure, especially Nick Chubb because he's been hurt a lot. Also, for wide receivers, Juju Smith-Schuster from USC hasn't announced it just yet, but it's expected that he will. I thought this was pretty interesting. Going into the tight ends, Jake Butt, O.J. Howard, and Jeremy Sprinkle are supposed to be going in. Jake Butt's from Michigan, O.J. Howard from Alabama, and Jeremy Sprinkle from Arkansas. They're expected to go into the draft. But I read that Tyrone Swoops is supposed to go into the draft as a tight end. He's going to switch over to tight end.
All right.
It's kind of odd. I definitely don't think he's going to do very well. I don't intend on drafting him. But I just thought that was interesting. Thought I'd bring that up. But yeah, so that's all I wanted to bring up. So just give us some improves and sustains, and we'll talk to y'all next week.
Peace out.
That's to everybody. Fuck you guys.